All right, international management students. All right, I've got good news for you. I have graded the discussion boards from week 7, I believe it is, and finished up also your integration essays, your second integration essay. So overall, I was pleased with how people did, especially on the integration essay. There was a gigantic improvement as compared to the first. So in grading these, I used the rubric, and I'm not exactly sure how, given I don't have access to the student screen, but I provided individualized feedback on each of your essays, so you can get in there and at least get a short explanation for why I graded you the way I did, hopefully with suggestions for improvement. So hopefully that'll be valuable information for you. So on the essay, overall people I think are doing a much better job in using information from the text. That was strong. Not so strong use of actually the current event information. Of course, that limited the integration of those two sources in responding to questions. A couple of people actually brought in a bunch of additional references and used those in attempting to respond to questions rather than information from the text and the current events. That's a bad strategy. I'm grading you on how well that essay shows if you know the knowledge from those two sources and can integrate that knowledge in responding to questions. So using additional outside information is not a good strategy if you want to do well in the integration essays. So given the strengths and weaknesses of integration essay number 2, for the third, which is coming here pretty soon, I'm going to have a bunch of questions for you that are going to require you to really draw from the current events to make sure that you're gaining that knowledge. So of course, understanding the text will also be important, but the primary focus will be on making sure people are learning and can use information from those current events. So that's what's coming in line for integration essay number 3. So a couple people have written about questions as far as where they stand in the class. So what I have done is I have compiled the scores and ranked them from best to worst on how people are doing on the distribution on the DBs, the discussion board. I've done that same thing for the combined scores for the 2 integration essays. And on week 8, the second item from the bottom on Blackboard, I have posted those score distributions for integration essays and discussion boards. So you know what you've done on those 2, so you can actually get your scores, of course, off Blackboard and look and see how everybody else is scoring and get an idea of how well you're doing in relation to other students in class. I base my grades based on grade distribution, so if I had to give grades today, roughly the top third in the class would get an A, the middle third a B, and the bottom third a C or below. So each of you should know with a relatively high degree of precision where you currently stand in class. So we have had a number of students, I guess, who are expecting the multiple choice based course drop this class. For those of you who are remaining, I think we've got the cream of the crop left, and I'm pleased with how you're doing. So even if you're in the C range, still the majority of what's required for this course is ahead of us. So you can climb up there in the B or the A range still if you do what you need to do well given the format of this course. So again, overall, I'm very pleased with how people are doing, so you should congratulate yourself. All right, so Chapter 8, that's what we're covering this week. This is on emerging markets. So what I want you to really focus and pay attention to with emerging markets, it's easy to understand that wages are low in most emerging markets, so we think of it as a location to actually assemble or manufacture goods and then ship those goods back to the industrialized world with rich customers. The world is evolving. Emerging markets no longer, that's not why people are excited about that. Emerging markets in general, and why we have a specific chapter on emerging markets. There are a significant and rising percentage of population in emerging markets who have middle class incomes and can basically participate in the consumer economy, buying goods or services that are reasonably priced or above. So that's what you really should focus on in emerging markets as a source of middle class and above consumers, and not just of a location for low-wage manufacturing. So have a great week. Congrats on how you're doing so far, at least most of you. I'm pleased with our progress, pleased with the group we have continuing in this course. There might be a few people out there listening to this video who did not turn, for whatever reason, in your second integration essay. Please come talk to me. I'm more than happy to work with you if you're interested in participating in a more demanding class, something other than just taking a few multiple choice exams during the semester. All right, so again, good work. Have a great week. Bye.